Fossils give us information about how animals and plants lived in the past. Once people began to recognize that some fossils looked like living animals and plants, they gradually began to understand what they were like before we humans came around. Fossils such as shells, old leaves, bones, and other remains from the past can be used in order to explain the evolution of species over time, as well as what other species have in common with another, even though they may have not been related.
Fossils tell us when organisms lived, as well as provide evidence for the progression and evolution of life on Earth over millions of years. The remains or imprints of the organisms from earlier geological periods are preserved in sedimentary rock. In rare cases, parts of the original fossil can be seen, but in most cases, they were replaced by minerals or sediments dumped by deposition and still remain in their original shape. Some examples of fossils include bones, shells, exoskeletons, stone imprints of animals or microbes, objects preserved in amber, hair, petrified wood, oil, coal, and DNA remnants.
Fossils are formed when the remains of an organism are preserved in the sediment deposited on the bottom of the water column. The sediment may then form a sedimentary rock by compaction over time. If that sedimentary rock is later exposed at the surface of the earth, the fossils can be removed from it. The Grand Canyon is a representation and a perfect example of deposition and sediment on the seafloor above hundreds of millions of years. Each layer contains fossils that are distinct from those layers above and below it, and are found by archaeologists.
Paleontologists can determine the age of fossils using methods like radiometric dating and categorize them to determine the evolutionary relationships between organisms, and range in age from 10,000 to 3.48 billion years old. Permineralization is a process of fossilization that occurs when an organism is buried. Spaces filled with liquid or gas during life are the empty spaces within an organism, which become filled with mineral-rich groundwater. Minerals precipitate from the groundwater, occupying these empty spaces. This process can occur in spaces as small as the walls of a plant cell. Small-scale permineralization can produce very detailed fossils. For permineralization to occur, the organism must be covered by sediment soon after death, or soon after the initial decay process.